Welcome for today's lesson in the Introduction to Criminology. For today, we're going to discuss about criminal etiology. Now, this refers to the scientific study of how and why people commit crimes. Now, we have to undergo this study because it is the main objective of criminology to stop or even just to lessen the occurrence of crime. So we're going to discover or to know or to learn the origins of crime. Now we cannot just what we call this generalize a single origin and can be applied to all. That's why there are plenty of approaches on how to approach or to start with the study of crime. Now, there are three major factors or approaches of criminal etiology. First is the biological factors, psychological factors, and sociological factors. Now, biological factors or approaches are those theories that has a connection or has a relation to biology. Same with psychology and with sociology rather. Excuse. First is biological factors. The most famous are the Lombrosian Theories by Cesare Lombroso. According to him, there is a relationship between the mental or the mind and the physical characteristics of a person. And also according to him, criminals have atavistic stigmata. So meron daw yung mga signs, yung mga yung mga criminals. Now, while he was doing his research, he did it to the prisoners in a certain prison. Tapos, gumawa siya ng yung yung grouping. So, lahat ng mga tao na nakakommit ng murder, so, nag-collect siya ng mga physical characteristics sa mga tao na nakagawa ng murder, tapos ibang group na naman yung crime, yung nakagawa ng, let's say, theft, tapos yung mga nakagawa ng rape. So, dito, he found out na sa murder, merong mga distinct physical characteristics yung mga tao nakagawa ng murder. So, mas yung, let's say for instance, na-discover niya na kadalasan sa mga nakagawa ng murder ay malaki yung panga. Tapos yung sa theft, matangos ang ilong. Tapos sa rape, singkit yung mata. So, gumawa siya ng theory na kapag malaki yung panga mo, ay malaki yung chance na makagawa ka ng murder. Yung kapag matangos yung ilong mo, malaki yung chance na makagawa ka ng theft, and so on and so forth. So, I'm not saying na yun talaga yung physical characteristic for that certain crime. What I'm saying is that merong yung sign, yung timailhan. So, and according to him, at birth, malalaman na kung magiging kung magiging criminal ka ba. Okay, that is according to him. I'm not saying na, it's already written in stone na maging ganyan ka, but according to him, that malaki yung chance. Okay? Tapos yung mga hindi pasok sa kanyang theory, meron din siyang ginawang classification. Now, first is the born criminal. Are those people that have pathological symptoms common with imbecile. Physical characteristics are also basis for identifying born criminals. Second is the insane criminal, yung may problema sa pag-iisip. Are those who commit crime due to abnormalities or psychological disorders. Now next is the criminaloid, one who commits crime due to less physical stamina or self-control. So, parang yung mga tao na slow yung development ng kanilang you call them, morality. So, wala sila masyadong self-control. Next is the occasional criminal. Now, dito, medyo similar yung criminaloid tsaka yung occasional criminal. Pero, if you're going to dig deeper, magkaiba talaga sila. So, occasional criminals are those who commit crime due to insignificant reasons that push them to do on a given occasion. So, dito pasok yung mga tao, yung nakagawa lang ng krimen dahil sa kahirapan, out of necessity. Wala na silang crime, let's say, ibang maisip na solusyon sa kanilang problema sa buhay, so gagawa na lang sila ng crime. Next is the pseudo-criminal. So these are those who kill in self-defense. Dati kasi hindi kasi considered yan as justifying circumstance na pwede kang makalaya. During that time, kapag nakapatay ka, kahit self-defense, ay makukulong ka. So next is the criminal by passion. Individuals who are easily influenced by great emotions like fit of anger. Dito pasok yung mga, let's say, nahuli ng asawa na nakipagtalit kanyang asawa sa ibang tao, o hindi kaya yung mga dahil lang sa selos. So these are the classifications of criminals by Lombroso. But basically, the main objective, the main point sa mga theories ni Lombroso is that sa bata pa lang ay malalaman kung ano ka magiging. Okay? Next theory is the General Inferiority Theory by Earnest Hooton. According to him, crime is the result of the impact of environment upon low-grade humans, and that criminals were originally inferior people. So according to him, yung mga tao pala na madali magiging criminal ay mga inferior. Kasi yung mga superior ay yung mga na-develop na ang iba't ibang virtues, yung mga characteristics of being a law-abiding citizen. So, kung hindi siya masyadong, let's say, kung madali lang siya matempt na gumawa ng krimen, edi inferior siya. Tulad ng, let's say, kapag hindi pa masyadong develop yung kanyang morality, hindi pa niya masyadong yung kanyang pamalanse, let's say, kahit na pwede siya maghanap ng trabaho, kahit na yung trabaho, if inferior siya, so he will resort to criminal acts, yung sa madali ang paraan. Tulad ngayon, yung mga nagre-resort sa pagbebenta ng mga droga kasi daw wala silang pera, walang trabaho, yung gano'n, mahirap sila. So, maghanap sila ng magandang paraan para yumaman. So, according to Earnest Hooton, yan sila ay mga inferior humans, mga low-grade humans. Now, according to him, crime exists because there are some inferior people who are responsible for them. Same meaning. Men with mediocre builds are people who tend to break the law without preference. Mediocre yung hindi superior. Yung parang normal lang or below normal, below average. So next theory is the Somatotyping Theory by William Sheldon. According to him, body type affects a person's entire personality and temperament. Yung personality yung tao at saka yung kanyang yung temperament, yung let's say yung aggressive ba siya or let's say possessive ba, yung gano'n. And na-determine niyang temperament sa bata pa lang. Kasi kung if na-improve yan, so it is the what we call this, it is similar to synonym to attitude yung temperament. Okay? So, in this theory, it is classified in three ways: the endomorph, mesomorph, and the ectomorph. Now, endomorph are those people who tend to be fat. Mesomorph are those people who have athletic and muscular body. Now, ectomorph are those people who are skinny and have fragile bodies, yung mga payat. So, endomorph, mataba; mesomorph, macho; ectomorph, payat. So, according to William Sheldon, yung mga mataba daw ay makakagawa ng mga crimes, or those people who commit crimes dahil yung mga crimes na related sa kanyang katabaan. Let's say, kung mataba siya, so yung mga crimes na pwede niyang gawin ay yung mga, let's say, rape. Kasi wala masyadong nagkagusto sa kanya. Okay? And sa mesomorph naman, ito yung mga medyo aggressive na mga crimes like pananakit ng tao, violence, pagnanakaw, kasi meron silang muscular body. Macho sila. They can do it. Now, ito naman sa ectomorph, ito yung mga payat. Ito daw sila kadalasan ang mga masterminds. So, I'm not saying that kapag mataba ka, ay rapist ka na, pag macho ka, magnanakaw ka or bully ka, ectomorph, mastermind ka. What I'm saying is that yan yung sinasabi ni William Sheldon. Because according to him, parang sinasabi dito ay ginagawa nila yung crime kasi may kakayahan silang gawin yung crime, or pinupuno lang nila yung kung ano yung kulang sa kanila. Tulad ng endomorph, di ba? Nagre-resort na lang sa rape kasi wala masyadong nagkakagusto sa kanya. Next is the genetic theory. Now, according to this theory, crime is committed by people who have abnormal genetic structure or chromosomal abnormalities. Now, kailan natin malalaman kung abnormal ang isang tao? Kapag meron siyang extra Y chromosome. Okay? Kasi ito daw ang responsible ng aggressiveness. Now, men having XYY chromosomes have greater tendency to commit crime. Now, ang isang tao, ang normal na tao, kapag babae, meron siyang XX chromosomes. Kapag lalaki naman, XY. So, kapag mayroong extra Y chromosome yung lalaki, magiging XYY, of course, abnormal yun. And malaki yung chance na magiging aggressive yung lalaki na yun dahil sa extra Y chromosome. Now, for the next is the psychological approach or factor. Now, these theories assume that delinquency is a result of internal underlying disturbances. So, nasa loob daw yung mga causes ng crime. These disturbances develop in childhood and tend to become permanent features of the individual character. So kung yung tao, kapag yung bata, kapag ipinanganak, meron siyang temperament of aggressiveness. Temperament is the usual behavior of a child. Kapag na-develop yun, kapag lumaki na siya, mas aggressive pa siya. Unless kung bata pa, mas tough na. So, it is very important to train, very important yung growth ng isang bata. Now, next is, since the individual has problems, it must be the focus of attention. The problem is to be solved. So, ayun nga. Yung tao yung problema, yung nasa loob, yung attitude niya, kung paano siya ipinalaki. So, dapat laanan talaga ng pansin yung pag-rear ng bata, pag-mold ng karakter ng isang bata. Kasi yung character has a strong connection with his mentality, yung attitude. Remember in psychology? Okay. Psychoanalytic theory by Simon Freud. According to him, people develop in a series of stages. Human nature is inherently antisocial. Every child possesses a set of primitive antisocial instincts, or the id, the pleasure principle. Now, okay, I'm going to discuss this in a as a whole later. As a whole, not whole. Whole. Okay, the rational part of the personality is the ego or the reality principle. Now, next is the delinquent behavior is the result of a defective superego. So, eto yung last. Grows out of ego, represents the moral code, norms, and values. Superego is the conscience principle, responsible for guilt and shame. So, tatlo, tatlo ito sila, tatlong principles. Ang isang tao ay may meron present daw ito sa tatlong tao. Itong id, ego, and superego. Pero hindi automatic kapag yung tao, kapag pinanganak, automatic meron na, na yung tatlo. Oo, of course, meron yung tatlo. Pero merong uh, etong dalawa, yung dalawa is later on pa magde-develop. Kasi yung bata, ang present lang sa isang bata is the id or the pleasure principle. Now, I will give you an example, okay, in order to better understand. For example, yung bata, na-attract siya sa isang, let's say, sa isang item kasi shiny. Gusto niyang kunin. Tapos ayaw niyang isauli. Kasi gusto na niya yun eh. And that is considered as a crime, di ba? Pero he took pleasure in the possession of it. Nasiyahan siya nung nagiging kanya na yun. So, yung bata is meron lang siyang id lang. Wala pa siyang, of course, meron siyang ego at saka superego, pero hindi pa develop. So, habang tumatanda yung bata, unti-unting nade-develop yung ego niya, the reality principle. Yun nga yung itinuturo natin sa ating bata na it is not right to take things that are not ours. So, in that case, parang we are we are molding our ego to be developed para ma-develop yung reality principle. Okay? Na kung kukunin mo yung isang gamit is makukulong ka because it's a crime. So, present na yung, develop na yung id tsaka ego natin. Okay? So, sa superego, eto naman, made-develop na to kapag develop na ang ating moral conscience or yung morality natin. Yung alam natin kung ano yung tama at saka yung mali. Okay? So, of course, we can say that ego is enough, but no, ego is not enough. Meron pa tayong superego. Now, ego is the conscience principle. So, yung konsensya natin. Okay? So, let's say for example, kapag nakakakita ka ng tao na nanlilimo sa'yo, Sir, pahingi ng pera, sir, pagkain lang. So, alam mo, in reality, that life is hard, that they have to work in order to earn the money that they need. Pero yung conscience mo is nakakaawa kasi yung conscience mo nagsasabi na nakakaawa sila kasi they could be, yung ipinanganak sila na less fortunate. Yung mga parents nila is walang-wala or bigla na lang silang nawala ng ari-arian kasi biglang namatay. So, magbibigay ka. It's because of your superego. Okay? So, according to Simon Freud, yung isang kriminal gagawa ng krimen kasi underdeveloped yung ego at saka yung superego niya. At yung yung nag-reign, yung what we call this, yung naghari sa kanyang decision making is ang id, yung pleasure principle. Kasi hindi pa develop yung ego tsaka yung superego niya. So I hope this is one of the most important theories in criminology. Okay? So, kung meron kayong hindi pa talaga naintindihan dito, feel free to ask me. Okay, next theory is the low IQ theory. Now, people with low intelligence are easily led into law-breaking activities by the wiles of more clever people. So, nagagamit sila. Kahit na hindi, yung mga napag-utusan lang, kahit na, gumagawa sila ng krimen, yet hindi nila alam na crime na pala yun. So, nailad lang sila. So, people with low intelligence are unable to realize the consequences of committing crime. So, that's easy to understand. Next is the attention deficit hyperactivity theory. So, the ADHD. Delinquency is caused by immaturity and hyperactivity. So, parang immature. Tapos yung hyper, of course. Binasa ko. Bago rin ako gibasa, no? Balik-balik siya. Okay. People having ADHD have short attention span, daydreaming, sluggishness, preoccupation, and impulsiveness. Yung short lang yung attention. Kaya nga, attention deficit. Pero hyper sila. Okay? So, ito mga klaseng tao to ay may mga attitude which can lead to committing a crime. Okay? Okay, next is the frustration aggression theory. Now, these are people who are frustrated and they will act aggressively. And people who engage in aggression are frustrated first. Now, as you can see, it's not aggression, frustration, but frustration, aggression. Kasi nauuna yung frustration. Now, in order to clear things up, aggression is a behavior of yung parang malapit sa violence. So, it's synonym to violence. Now, frustration is a feeling, is an emotion na parang yung na-feel mo, yung parang frustrated ka, yung may gusto kang isang bagay pero hindi mo nakuha. Tapos nagkaroon ka ng feeling of frustration. Okay? Which can lead to aggression. Okay? For instance, isa kang empleyado, yung performance sa trabaho mo is very excellent. Now, nakita mo na very excellent ang trabaho and meron ka mga necessity sa buhay. Kaya nga ginalingan mo yung trabaho para mag-promote ka. So, you ask for a promotion to your boss. Sabi ng boss, okay, wala pa tayong bakante, hindi ka pwedeng mag-promote. So, nagkaroon ka na ng frustration. So, several years after, you tried again. So, nalaman mo na meron ng vacant position, yet hindi pa rin binigay sa'yo. Now, nagbubunga ito ng grabe na talaga na frustration, which can lead to aggression. So, malaki yung chance na may magagawa ka sa iyong boss. It's either papatay mo siya or, let's say, you're going to make his life a living hell. By, let's say, kasi wise ka rin. So, mag-uutos ka ng tao na gagawa doon. So, yun, ito yung isang theory na psychological theory kung bakit nakakagawa ng crime yung isang tao. Okay? Lastly is the sociological approach or factors. Now, social disorganization theory is by Clifford and Henry Mckay. According to them, it is a state of disequilibrium and a lack of social solidarity or consensus among the members of a society. They lack collective efficacy to fight crime and disorder. So, a state of disequilibrium. So, walang balance, walang equality, and a lack of social solidarity. So, hindi close yung mga tao, hindi solid. No? Kita niya? Or consensus. So, walang, let's say, walang agreement among the members of the society. So, nangyayari ito sa yung crime ay bunga daw kapag bunga ng uncooperativeness ng isang society. Kapag hindi nagkaisa yung society, so it can lead to crime. Disorganized yung isang society. They lack collective efficacy to fight crime and disorder. So, ang responsible dito ay yung chief executive ng isang lugar, local chief executive. So, in this case, it's either the mayor or the barangay captain. So, kapag hindi talaga masyadong, let's say, united sa isang goal, yung society, then malaki yung chance na maraming crime na yung mangyayari. Now, next is anomy theory by Emil Durkheim. This theory is synonym to normlessness. So, walang norm. Okay, what are these norms? So, culturally defined goals and socially approved means for obtaining them. So, ito yung mga dinidefine ng isang culture or ng isang society kung ano yung dapat na goals ng isang member sa society at kung paano makamit ito. So, examples of goals are yung yumaman ka, mag-successful, and to be a, let's say, power refers to yung respetado ka, respectable. For instance, isang politician, mabait na politician. Okay. So, socially permissible means are hard work, education, and thrift. In order to obtain your goals, which is to be wealthy, successful, and powerful, ito yung dapat mong gawin. Yung hard work, education, and to be thrift. Yung mag-save ka. Okay. But sa isang lugar na normless, yung hindi klaro kung ano yung mga norms sa isang lugar, of course, kapag if they are denied the opportunity, let's say, kung they tried to be hardworking, they tried to go to school and nag-ipon talaga sila, pero kanang dahil kasi sa, let's say, sa sitwasyon sa isang society, so imbes na ito yung gagawin nila, itong mga means na mag-hard work, mag-aral, ay gagawa na lang sila ng yung criminal acts para makamit yung wealth, success, and power. Kasi sa isang lugar na namelessness, parang tanggap nila kung kahit na anong paraan, kahit na, kasi wala kasing masama o mabuti sa isang society na normless. Okay? So, this is also a very important theory. So, kapag meron kayong hindi naintindihan, feel free to chat me. Okay? I'm always open for any questions. Okay, another example. Kapag ang isang bata, ipinanganak siya sa isang lugar na, let's say, magulo na lugar, let's say, tulad ng Tondo, okay, gusto niyang yumaman. These are just, fictional lang. Isang bata ipinanganak, nangarap na maging mayaman. Sinubukan niya mag-aral, pero wala silang pera pang-aral. Sinubukan niya magtrabaho, pero he needs education para magkaroon siya ng magandang trabaho. Sinubukan niyang mag-ipon, pero wala, kulang talaga kahit sa pang-araw-araw na gastusin. So, kasi yung society nila is parang normal na lang yung gumawa ng krimen para makuha yung mga gusto nila, ay gagawa na lang din siya ng crime. Okay? I really hope na medyo simplify ko yun. Next is string theory by Rober Merton. Certain classes are denied legitimate access. So classes now, we're talking about classes. So ano tong classes? High class, middle class, low class. Are denied legitimate access, so legitimate, legal access, hindi illegal, to culturally determined goals and opportunities. So, denied na sila sa legal access. And the resulting frustration results in illegitimate activities or rejection of the society's goal. So, okay. Kapag isang tao, let's say, nangangarap siyang, let's say, again, yumaman na naman, maging mayaman. So, kasi wala silang means to reach that goal, so they are going to what we call this, to resort to illegal activities. So parang similar lang din siya sa anomy. Kaso lang, yung sa anomy kasi, yung society na kung saan nakatira yung tao is normless. Hindi klaro kung ano yung mga acceptable means in achieving the goals. Ito, dito sa string theory, na nasa society siya na klaro yung mga norms. Pero dahil sa situation, sa individual situation niya, yung let's say sa family niya, kasi low class sila galing, he is born in a family of farmers, tapos yung kanyang, let's say, what we call this, yung kanyang means, let's say, financial means, in order to achieve his dream is kulang. So, gagawa na lang siya ng crime in order to achieve that iyang goal. So, it's either magnanakaw siya or magbebenta siya ng kanyang katawan para makapagtapos siya ng pag-aaral. So, medyo may konting silver line lang yung difference sa anomy. Kaso lang yung sa anomy is hindi klaro kung ano yung acceptable at hindi acceptable ng isang society. Well, dito sa string is nagagawa niya yung crime kahit na klaro yung norms, it's either acceptable or not acceptable. Nagagawa niya yung crime kasi nang parang he was forced to resort to illegal or illegitimate activities. Okay? Next is the Differential Opportunity Theory by Richard Cloward and Lloyd Olin. Now, delinquent subcultures flourish in the lower classes. So, delinquent subcultures, yung isang society kasi is, if you're going to really dig deep, isang culture yan. Yung, let's say, yung Barangay Bulatok, yung culture ng Barangay Bulatok is that their goal is the same. Let's say, peaceful is to, yan yung, let's say, yung goal ng Barangay Bulatok is to be drug-free. O ganun. So, yung mga subcultures is yung meron pang small culture in a big culture. Okay? Kung parang meron siyang small group. So, yung small group is nag-exist sa isang malaking culture. So, delinquent subcultures flourish in the lower classes. Yung kadalasan, na what we call this, nag-flourish yung nagbubunga or yung lumalaki sa mga lower classes, sa mga medyo sa mga rural areas, at kahit na sa urban, basta yung mga hindi masyadong, let's say, high class, and take particular form so that the means for illegitimate success are no more equally distributed than the means for legitimate success. Okay, and take particular form so that the means for illegitimate success are no more equally distributed than the means for legitimate success. Now, eto kasi yan. Siyempre, hindi equal yung opportunity. Okay? So, let's say, same. Parang medyo, kasi ito? Parang medyo similar itong anomy, strain, at saka differential opportunity. Okay, dito sa differential opportunity, yung mga tao dito, naninirahan dito is yung mga, let's say, hindi masyadong high class, yung mababang sahod, mataas yung unemployment rate, hindi uneducated. So, we can really conclude na low class yung society na yun. I'm not being judgmental. Okay. So, So, etong mga tao dito ay konti lang yung opportunity nila para makamit yung mga gusto nila in a legal way or in a legitimate way. So, yung mga tao dito sa lower class, they are going to form a group, their own subculture in a big culture. Gagawa sila ng isang group, isa banggang, tapos yung goals ng gang is to achieve kung ano yung mga individual goals nila. Let's say, yumaman. So, gagawa sila ng grupo, tapos yung mga means nila ay mga illegal. Kasi wala silang opportunity na makamit mga goals nila in a legal way. So, gumawa sila ng grupo, maliit na grupo, para makamit yung mga gusto nila in an illegal way. Okay? While dito sa anomy, is napilitan yung taong gumawa ng krimen kasi hindi klaro kung ano yung accepted means. While sa strain naman, isa individual itself, isa lang siya. So, gumawa, nag-research siya sa criminal acts kasi hindi niya nakamit yung gusto niya. While dito sa differential opportunity, sa simula pa lang, ay wala na silang opportunity to achieve yung mga goals nila in a legitimate mean or way. So, gumawa sila ng isang grupo para makamit yan. Okay? So, I really have to clarify this. Pabalik-balik lang si Sir, no? Okay, next is Class Conflict Theory by Richard Queeny and William Chambliss. Based upon the view that the fundamental causes of crime are the social and economic forces operating within the society. So, social yung mga tao, at saka economic yung economy sa isang lugar. So, The criminal justice system and criminal law are thought to be operating in behalf of rich and powerful social elites with resulting policies aimed at controlling the poor. Example, Capitalism by Karl Marx. Now, dito sa class conflict, ano, um, ang ang main actors dito ay yung high class at saka low class. Walang middle class, okay? High class yung mayaman, low class yung mahirap. Okay. Dati kasi, during the time of yung before the French Revolution, yung capitalism, to make it short, the main, what to call this? The main effect of capitalism is yung mga mayaman, yung mayaman. Yung mga mahirap, mas nagiging mahirap. Kasi sa capitalism, yung mga taong mayaman, they are going to spend their money in order uh, to put up a business. Tapos yung mga mahihirap, they are going to work for the rich. So, ang gamble ng mga rich is yung capital. Kung maging successful yung business niya, of course, meron siya, let's say, what you call this, ginansya. Kapag maluki, of course, malaki yung mawawala sa kanya. While yung sa mga lower class, ang gamble lang nila, yung sugalan lang nila is yung kanilang labor, yung trabaho, pagsisikap. So, kung if after giving their service, meron siyang sahod. Pero maliit. Kasi during that time, sa capitalism, may control ang mga mayaman sa kung kung gaano kalaki yung isasahod. Kasi kasi malaki yung demand. Okay? So, deeper sa capitalism, it's very interesting, but we're going to focus dito sa kung bakit nakaka-commit ng crime yung tao dito sa class conflict. Okay. Sa side sa mga rich, sila yung may control sa law. So, they're going to adjust the law na na mas magiging mahirap pa yung mahirap. So, yung mga poor naman is affected by the law, wala na silang choice. So, gagawa na lang sila ng krimen para mapabago yung buhay nila. That is why, according to Karl Marx, poverty, the end of capitalism will, ano ba yan? In order to end poverty, it must end with a bloody revolution. So, according kay Karl Marx, matatapos lang yung kahirapan dahil sa isang madugong revolution. So, in class conflict, may crime kasi the rich are trying to control the poor and the poor doesn't want to be controlled. They want their lives to be better. Then they are going to bring down the rich. Okay? So, medyo mahaba-haba kasi itong discussion tong class conflict. Kaya, I'm just going to leave it there. But, sayang, it would be much better kung face-to-face ito. Next is Differential Oppression Theory. So, differential refers to different, oppression, may oppress. So, by John Hewitt and Robert Merton. So, kita mo natutunan. Baka di COVID. Juvenile delinquency is a product of the oppression of children by adults, especially the parents. So, family is a part of society. Now, how a child was being raised by the parents has an effect on how he is going to become to be an adult. So it's all about the rearing of the parents. Okay? So kapag oppressed daw yung children, nagiging juvenile delinquent. Now, differential association. So different association. Makikipag-associate ka. Criminal behavior is learned primarily within the interpersonal groups. So, kapag yung isang inosenteng tao na belong siya or naging kasama siya sa isang grupo, tapos itong grupo ay mga, let's say, criminals, it is theorized na he will learn the ways. So, eventually, he will become a criminal. So, parang, ano, para maka-adapt siya. Meron siyang magaya ng mga gawain ng isang criminal group. Okay, I think this is the last one. Okay, balik. Okay, social learning theory. This views that behavior is modeled through observation. So, yung observation daw ng isang tao is galing sa kanyang na-observe. Children who grow up or who grew up in a home where violence is a way of life may learn to believe that such behavior is acceptable. So he will grow, he will grow to learn that that is the norm, that that being violent is normal. Okay? So um, a person becomes a criminal because of what he or she observed as a child. Okay? So, for those who have questions on different theories, please feel free to understand. Kasi napakahirap talaga gumawa ng totoong assessment sa inyong kung how much you have learned. It's very difficult, lalo na ngayon online. So, please, I implore you, kung meron kayong hindi naintindihan, feel free to ask me. I will always answer with a smile, of course. So, until next time, thank you so much.